dear. How are you? Can you hear us okay? We can't hear you. This is fun. I love technology. It gets you sometimes.
Okay, let's see.
I can hear you. We just can't see you. This is great.
Let's see if this worked.
It
There you
worked
go.
Better?
perfectly.
Good. You like it this way or this way?
I like it
That's
that way.
Okay. Oh my goodness. I wish my assistant would come over and help me.
Story of my
miss-
life.
I've got an assistant, but she's working from home.
Ah.
And
Sure.
it's not quite the same as her being here, you know.
It's not.
But I'm trying to get this to stick in.
We just lost your audio again. Oh,
To have to speak.
got it?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just trying to get this thing to stick in. I think
No problem. Take your time.
it's a little tight here. Are you in North Carolina?
We
Yeah.
are.
I'm gonna go get my teeth done up there.
You
Ooh.
should. It's a great state. Where are you getting it done? In Durham or?
I think near Charlotte. I think
Okay,
it's near
good.
Charlotte. I don't know the actual small town, the suburb, but with this Dr. Nash, I don't know if you ever heard of him,
Okay.
but I've tried to do everything, you know, with getting my teeth whitened and nothing works.
Really? So what does Dr. Nash do that's special?
Well, are we recording or did we start this?
We're not recording yet. Nope. I'm just getting you warmed up. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He does like a very minimal shaving of the teeth
Oh, nice.
for veneers,
Yeah.
where most veneers are the traditional, they make the teeth look like pegs, like it's pretty scary.
Yeah.
And my teeth are straight now, so it's almost like when you put a fake fingernail on top,
Gotcha.
basically, but they have to just do he said it's very minimal. So I hope it is very minimal because I mean, my teeth are healthy. It's just that they're naturally like yellow, and you know, the thing is, like, people like say, you know, why don't you whiten your teeth? And you don't, it's like, with all, you know, the money that we have, you don't think I've tried.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
You know, I even bought the damn laser machine to sit there, like from the
Oh.
dentist.
Yeah. And it
You
hurts too. Like I have sensitive teeth,
It-
and that kind of stuff really does hurt.
Yeah, by the time you get like to round 3, the nerves like start like a shock that goes like through your head. So I think I'm just gonna bite the bullet and go through the
Smart.
procedure.
Well, if you're coming to North Carolina, you must be very good. So I'm sure you'll have great results.
Yeah, I think he learned from the best, which is a guy up in New York, and I forgot the guy's name, but hopefully, you know, but it'll be like a little road trip.
Yeah.
I've canceled all of my big trips this summer, so I'll just get my camper and
There
a
you
couple
go.
of the kids and make it a road trip.
Road trip.
That's right. Get out of the house.
We cannot
Yeah.
thank you enough for doing this, and we know you have a lot going on even amidst what's happening. So we just want to thank you first of all, and a few little tiny housekeeping things. We record this for audio for our podcast,
Okay.
but if you would give us permission, we might use a screenshot or something to post. But if you
That's
don't
fine.
want that, that's fine too. Whatever you prefer.
Yeah, I did put some makeup on today, so.
Great. So did we.
You look great.
Yeah. So did we.
And you look beautiful.
Thank you, dear. And then, so we basically do a little intro and we do a welcome and then talk to you for, 30, 35 minutes or whatever you're comfortable with. We specifically want to talk about your philanthropic work. I mean, we'll talk about Queen of Versailles and the documentary, but we're mostly interested in what you're doing for the community with foundations, if that's okay.
Yeah. And in fact, I also did want to make mention of our Victoria's Voice
Absolutely.
book,
Absolutely.
which is our daughter's diary, the one that passed away from the drug overdose.
Yeah.
And my twins just came out with a book called Oliver Uncollared.
Good. Yeah.
Which I can just make a quick mention of that too, and why they wrote that book.
Absolutely. And we always ask if there's anything that's off limits, just say, I'd rather not talk about that, but we will never say anything or do anything to embarrass you. So just, we are super nice and kind and easy, but just let us know if you want to redirect the conversation.
Okay, perfect.
All right. You ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay,
sounds good.
Jonathan, you ready?
Yep, go for it.
Welcome to Carolina Coffee Talk, where we drink the coffee and spill the tea from the greatest town on earth, Wake Forest, North Carolina, and from around the world.
Carolina Coffee Talk is brought to you by Kaleidoscope Realty, providing one-on-one home buying help from start to finish. If you'd like to be a sponsor, shoot us an email at info@carolinacoffeetalk.com or like us on Instagram or Facebook at Carolina Coffee Talk.
I'm Liz.
And I'm Jonathan.
Jonathan, today's a big day. May 15th, Friday, 2020, day upteenth of coronavirus, COVID-19, and we are Zooming like we've been for the past few weeks with my new best friend, Jackie Siegel. Everyone say hello to Jackie. Hello, Jackie.
Hey, everyone. Oh, my gosh. So everyone's in quarantine. This is so crazy, huh?
It is crazy. And Jackie, you were in Florida, correct?
Yes, we're in Orlando, Florida.
Yep. So
And
she's in our time zone, which is wonderful.
yes, I didn't have to get up too early.
Correct.
Thank God.
Exactly right. So Jackie is kind enough to speak with us today. Most of you know her from a Hulu documentary called The Queen of Versailles. But as we've prepared for talking with Jackie and looked into her life more and read more about her, she is way more multifaceted than that documentary. And so we're going to hit all that stuff today. Very active in her community, very philanthropic, and cares a lot about teenagers' health, adult health, and just giving back to the community. So we have some questions for Jackie today. Jonathan, why don't you get us started?
Yeah, Jackie, thank you again for being with us today. We're excited. Like we said, we're going to talk a little bit about Queen of Versailles, but really go into the Princess of Versailles go into Victoria Siegel Foundation. And so we are so glad, and also Victoria's Voice, and then your twins' new book as well. So we are excited to have you. Jackie, a little bit, just the Queen of Versailles is such a multifaceted documentary, which is very interesting from an outside perspective to see what you and your husband went through really in the 2008 crisis. And so just reflecting on that time in y'all's life and now where you're at now, I guess, what are some of the biggest things that you and your husband, especially now that we're in a time of adversity right now for a lot of people, like what were some things that really bonded you and your husband to help you guys get through that time?
Well, for one thing, I almost feel like we're back in a crisis,
Right.
like we're having a repeat in history from 2008, just a different type of crisis,
Right.
where this whole thing is based on the COVID-19, and it's really hurting the economy and everything. And I guess my husband and I, we kind of, when we're stuck at home like this and bonding, I kind of, I don't know, he's kind of changed a little bit. He's
Right.
gotten a little bit more calm. He's doing a lot more reading. He's less stressed out. Although he's is sad about, like, he's trying to figure out about the business and reopening and stuff.
Right.
But I have become his chef. I've
Ooh.
become, one of the, like, his personal housekeeper, because he will not allow anyone in his private space. He wants absolutely no exposure.
Oh, wow.
I'm the dog groomer. I've also cleaned out some of the cars too. So I become, even though my name's Jackie, I've earned my Jack of all trades. I earned my name.
Jackie of all trades, right?
Yeah.
I had a quick question for you too. I've been looking at some of your stuff on Facebook. You are quarantined like everyone else, but you
Mhm.
are a world traveler and you keep your kids very, very active with kayaking and outdoor activities. Have you always loved the outdoors with your family?
Yes, I actually, growing up, I was a Girl Scout,
Right.
and I used to backpack. Like, just getting away from society and enjoying nature was one of the most wonderful things in the world. And so I'm trying to teach my kids that, and they absolutely love it. Like, my kids are actually camping now.
Oh, wow.
We have a lot of vacant property here in Florida, so they just go and just camp for free and, like, really roughing it.
That's
Where they have
awesome.
to make their own campfire and kind of like a survival mode, And
Absolutely.
but I like to, but I also love beauty pageants and being on, in TV and all that. So I like to describe myself that I could be the person that climbs to the top of a mountain and camps out and in the wilderness in the morning. I would stay overnight, and then the next evening show up all decked out for a black tie party.
Exactly. And that's
think,
what's so amazing about you, is that you have so many dimensions. So you talk about your pageant history. So you are Mrs. Florida America, right? And that was in 1993. The
right.
pageant world is a whole different subsect of culture, right? So what is one really interesting thing you learned about being in pageants?
Well, I actually produced the Mrs. Florida pageant. So I was supposed to have my pageant this weekend. This weekend was supposed to be my Mrs. Florida pageant. So now I've had to postpone that. And we're trying to aim for July. And then I just have to do the pageant before the Mrs. America, which we're hosting at our Las Vegas resort in October.
Oh, wow.
And I'm trying to figure out how, and if we can, I don't know if we can have all that many people in a theater to watch the pageant now. I don't know if I'm going to have to go virtual or what. So personally, I'm struggling with that. And of course, the girls in the pageant, they want their time on stage and all that.
Yeah.
But in the pageant world, what I've realized, of course, everyone wants to win, and in the pageants, only one person wins. But along the way, the pageants, beauty pageants, it teaches the girls confidence, and they have to learn how to speak in front of people. So they learn a lot of skills, and we encourage them, especially in my pageant system. All of the state delegates and even local and city levels, they've all adopted our Victoria's Voice, the Victoria Siegel Foundation, as their platform, which for people that don't know the story behind it, our 18-year-old daughter died of a drug overdose. So we started, and her name was Victoria Siegel. So we started the Victoria Siegel Foundation to help fight and bring awareness about the drug abuse. When she passed away 5 years ago, no one talked about their children or loved one dying of drug overdose. They would say they died of natural causes or a heart attack. And when she passed away, of course, it was all over the headlines, the New York Post, the morning shows, everything. And it was very embarrassing, but we decided to go with it and be public about it and make a voice. And
absolutely.
So now we have a winner in every state. We have a whole, an army of beauty contestants that they're local celebrities, and they're able to go out and spread the word about the drug overdose.
That's amazing. Yeah, I just watched a lot of people. I don't know that a lot of people know about the Princess of Versailles on YouTube, and it's a great sequel, I would guess, but also just talking about the struggles that you guys went through with Victoria's death. And then, I found a lot of encouragement just watching you and your husband when you all were on Capitol Hill and he was testifying in front of Congress. And I think you guys are so passionate about it. And so I guess if you will talk to us a little bit more just about the Victoria Siegel Foundation, what you guys are currently doing, and that you guys got the CARE Act passed, or the CARE Act passed. And so if you could talk a little bit about that, I think that's super important to know that, you guys are known for Versailles, but you guys really have taken an interest not only in the drug addiction, but also in other people's lives to help others. And that's really become y'all's family's mission. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Okay, well, whenever I traveled or went out for the after the Queen of Versailles came out, people said, "Oh, why don't you do a TV show? Show us more, show us more." And so when Victoria passed away, I did it's almost like a home video. I shot it on my cell phone, and I had one of my friends that had a camera, and she was her own producer. So we shot this, the Princess of Versailles together, and it shows our journey of from the funeral when Victoria passed away through what we chose to do in our life to help with the drug epidemic. So immediately when she died, we started the Victoria Siegel Foundation. But in our journey, like, we didn't know what we were going to do with the foundation. I mean, this just kind of fell upon us. We didn't know we were going to lose our daughter. So we had to figure out, what is the foundation going to do? Because all of a sudden people started sending money in lieu of the flowers and all that. And so the first thing we stumbled on when we went up to Washington, D.C., and of course my husband, he's not going to do anything on a local level and just be one little foundation at the,
he's not that guy. Yeah.
no, we're going straight to the head of the DEA and to Congress and all that. So we jumped on a plane, we went up there, and we did the marches for the heroin overdose and all that. And we've been very active up there. And while we were up there, we found this CARA Act, which is a very comprehensive act. But the main thing it was sitting on a shelf for 3 years, and we found it. What it had is, there's a drug called Narcan, naloxone, Narcan, and they're both the same. It's just one's generic brand. So it's a drug that's like an antidote for people doing opioids or heroin, and they could be one breath away from death, turning blue. And if you put this Narcan, if you administer either up the nose or it's an injection, and it brings them back to life. It blocks the drug of the neurons in the brain from getting the opioids. So you have about an hour and a half to get the overdose patient to the hospital, and then they can do to the emergency room, and they do their procedures of whatever they do with flushing or whatever.
Right.
So when we got the CARA Act passed and funded, and we got over $1 billion from the government to provide the Narcan to every state for all the first responders, colleges, and all across the country.
That's
so
amazing.
Yeah, and we've got the word out now. Most people, especially people that know about the drug epidemic, know about Narcan.
Right. Well, and I think the other thing that was inspiring, Jackie, is your husband sat in front of a committee, which only 3 people of the people that we're paying to be there to make change showed up to, and he makes a very valid point in the documentary about that. But what I found inspiring was, it wasn't a moment for him or for you guys to reflect solely on what you guys had experienced. You guys really focused on, how can we make a change with the adversity that we've been faced? And so I think, tell us a little bit more about kind of, I know David, I've read some articles about how you guys have kind of put Versailles on the back burner because you really want to focus on this. And I know that you found a young lady by the name of Dakota. Tell us a little bit of kind of what your outreach has been with that community since passing the CARE Act.
Well, I tell you, I met with the head of the chief of police, John Mina, in Orlando a couple months ago, and he told me that just in our community, he's used not him personally, but his department, over 1,000 times just in Orlando. So I know that because of our daughter's death, that I can account for somewhere in there, the 1,000 times that they've used it just in Orlando, that there's many lives that were saved because of what we're doing. And that's very rewarding. And, but that's just in Orlando, but now that's happening in every city across America. So I don't have the statistics of that. And one thing we're also doing, we're going to announce that we created a victory clubs for like Victory, Victoria, kind of short for that, you know. So the Victory Clubs is going to be a school program, and we're working with the schools in Orlando and out in Nevada. It's an incentive program for kids to take a pledge to not do drugs and be subject to random drug testing, but they get such great incentives. Like, we're going to get them free concert tickets. We're working with the car insurance companies to give the Victory Club kids discounts on their automobile insurance.
Oh, that's
which
amazing.
The parents, That's huge. The parents will love.
Yeah.
They're going to be able to get out of school 5 minutes early before the big traffic line. They'll get the preferred parking spots right next to the school, like for the high schoolers that drive. So that this is like a lot of phone calls and work. So it's going to take time to implement all this,
Right.
especially all across America. But we're starting first in Orlando. We're in September, and the 2 cities in Nevada, and make it like a cookie cutter. And then we've got a 3-year program, and by the 3rd year, we plan on that being all across America. And we really feel that the Victory Clubs, it's going to be a major national program, just because of incentivizing kids and have them, maybe they'll be able to do like pizza parties together once a month, just for their group, like to tell, where they can talk and support each other and say, yeah, it was so hard for me. I went to a party and they're trying to make me do something I didn't want to do, but they can have buddy systems and stuff,
Absolutely.
Jonathan and I have both worked at the YMCA for years, worked with high school kids for our whole lives pretty much. And we both have seen lots of families that are in the public that ignore issues with their kids and are embarrassed to share. So the fact that you came out and were open about the tragedy is telling so many people that it's okay to be honest about what's happening in your family, and it's helping others. How are your younger kids affected by what's happening? Can you talk about the book that they've written?
Okay, well, when our 18-year-old daughter passed away, we had 8 kids. Now we have 7. But the twins were only 8 years old, and they didn't understand what a drug was. They didn't understand death. And so in order for them to cope and get through the process, they actually wrote a book called Oliver Uncollared. It's a book about our Maltese. His name was Oliver. And so they just did a story to keep their mind off of their sorrows about the dog. And the story is basically a very lighthearted story about, it's kind of like Home Alone, where the dog was left home alone and all of his adventures. Like, she puts all of her family names in there, and we went off on a trip. And he gets in like his trouble with the bunny rabbit and things like that. So it's really like a book for like tweens.
Yeah.
And you have a choice at the end of the book. You can pick the happy ending or the sad ending.
Oh no, it's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, and then in the back of the book, we do mention some things, information about our foundation and where parents can go for help or educate, like, because our whole thing is to get teenagers or like even at the middle school level to keep them off. We very much believe in prevention, right? Before they even try it. And then in the back, they also have like little recipes, like how to make dog treats, and like edible blue slime. So they have like some activities in the back. So I don't know, it's just like a fun little thing, and it's on Amazon.
Yep.
If anyone wants to look for Oliver Uncollared, and it has a little bit about our family in it too.
Victoria's voice is a very very touching book, and very open, including lots of parts about her journal. Was it hard for you to go back and read some of that stuff after she passed away?
Oh my God. So her diary journal, it's actually more like a diary. It's so personal.
Yeah.
And no one knew that she even had this. She started her diary when she was 12 years old, before she ever did drugs. And she called it My Life as a Teenager, and when the first time she had nearly overdosed another time when she was staying at a friend's house, which I wasn't told about, but she took a bunch of Xanax. And she thought she had gone beyond the point where she wasn't going to wake up in the morning. She sent a text to her friend that as she passed away, to make sure that I know, I'm the mother, where her diary is, because she wants me to publish her diary.
Oh, wow.
And share it with the rest of the world, for other people that are struggling with drug abuse, so they can understand that they're not the only ones. It really goes inside of her mind and her journey. And I think a lot of people that are struggling would like to read with it. I mean, this one page, she has It's just like a bunch of words like spread. I don't know if you can really see it.
Yeah.
But I mean, just everything. She's like nowhere to be found. I mean, truth, forgiving, joy, bliss, anxiousness, arrogance, envy, just every word that's like just going through her head. And I really think that this book, especially now, it can be inspiring for people to read. I mean, I think it's great for parents to read, to understand maybe their teenagers crazy, their mind is going crazy inside too,
Right.
with their own personal struggles, and they could be doing drugs behind their closed bedroom door. I mean, it's really an eye opener. And right now, I just the past few days, as you know, Melissa Etheridge, her son just passed away, and it just was a YouTube thing that came up, and I clicked on it, and it said that with the stay-at-home epidemic and people losing their jobs, the drug epidemic is spiked right now. And so I think this is the perfect timing with people staying home. If they could want to see the book Victoria's Voice, it's on Amazon, or watch The Princess of Versailles for free. But those two actually go hand in hand together. It kind of brings the book to life a little bit. And right before I came on your show today, 15 minutes before, my phone kept blowing up. And it's from one of my friends. And it's like, I wanted I wanted to be clear on my mind before I came on your show, you know?
Right.
Sure.
But she called so many times, I finally answered, and she says, I just want to let you know, our friend Pete, who's a dear friend of ours, I don't want to mention his last name right now because I don't know if he wants, his daughter just died like very early this morning. And right before I came on your show, and this is something that I'm going to like call and deal with after, of how I can help him to get through what he's suffering right now. And I haven't even talked to him yet, but this is like kind of the mindset that I came on, and it's just, I mean, it's just too close to home.
It is.
My daughter, I have an 18-year-old daughter that goes to the Gainesville, the college up there, and 5 days ago she got a call that one of her frat brother friends just did an overdose, and he didn't even mean to. He thought he was getting Xanax from a drug dealer, and it wasn't Xanax. He just took one pill, and it was, I don't know if it was fentanyl or carfentanil, but they're mixing chemicals with all this stuff. Like when you buy things on the street, you don't know what you're getting. In fact, I even was invited to go speak up. I spoke up at Rochester Institute of Technology, and this is about 6 months ago for one of my book signings. And the day before I went up there was marijuana that was laced with fentanyl, and it killed 7 people up there. The day before I got up there and was able to speak out, you know.
Gosh.
And it's just, I mean, back when, I don't know how old you are, but back when we were growing up, I mean, marijuana was really never laced or anything.
Yeah,
but it's
I mean,
if anything, it made people just like kind of get tired, lazy, and just eat a lot of pizza.
correct.
You know?
Yeah.
but nowadays on the street, you don't know what you're getting. I mean, like you're trusting this drug dealer, but that drug dealer had to trust the person higher up than him. I mean, there's a huge chain of trust in there. And in general, the drug dealers they just want to make money.
Right.
They don't care about people's lives.
Absolutely.
You know?
Jackie, having had a daughter who overdosed and, you know, experiencing, I guess, what is a message you would give to parents who may know that their kids are dealing with drugs or who have already experienced one overdose and were fortunate enough to make it through, but what is advice from you or just from your experience for those parents?
Yeah, see that's such a complex question. I mean, because the addiction is just so bad. I mean, I've known people, even as adults, that struggle on a daily basis. I mean, it's just a horrible thing. But for other parents, I really think try to be their best friend. I mean, sometimes you got to treat kids with tough love, but then sometimes in certain situations that could drive them further away.
Yep.
You know, and you know what I mean. But the best thing I think is like to do therapy, seek help.
Because every kid is different too. There's no cookie cutter approach to a child because every kid.
No, I mean, some kids need tough love, and sometimes if you're too tough on them, they don't think you're a friend. They may run away. I mean,
Yeah.
I've had mothers that they can't find their daughter because that they run off with their drug dealer boyfriend. You know,
Yep.
and I really think try to keep them close to home. Hey, son.
There we go.
Marissa, I'm on the call. Hey, no, come back. Go on.
It's great.
Marissa,
What
go
happened?
on.
It happens to
I'll
us
talk
all
about-
the time with dogs.
I'll talk. She wants to talk about I'll do my hair later, Marissa. Hey, jeez. No, I mean, she knows I'm on a call.
She knows. I
mean,
know.
She's like getting me some hair extensions. I can talk about my hair extensions after the show.
Yeah.
Now everyone knows my hair's fake.
Are you not dying to get your nails done, or how are you doing with your nails? Because I'm dying about that. That's
They
killing-
are just awful.
No,
And,
that is killing me right now. It's a ridiculous thing to complain about, but I'm dying.
I've been picking off. I've got like the gel dip or
Yeah,
whatever,
me too, the dip.
Yeah.
Yep.
and you can't take them off. I mean, I've tried nail polish remover,
You
so
can't.
I've had to like pick most of them off, but I feel like it's peeling some of my own natural nail off.
It is.
So my nails are like extra thin now.
They're like paper thin compared to the dip. It's ridiculous. Sorry, Jonathan. He's like, I don't care about this. You girls are ridiculous.
Yeah.
All good.
Jackie had a quick question. If we can back up a little bit, is that okay, Jonathan?
Yeah, absolutely.
How were you and David approached about doing the Queen of Versailles back in 2012? How did that whole thing happen for you guys?
Actually, I'm trying to work on a scripted movie about like showing that, but
Great.
which would be funny. But basically, I was invited by the Versace, the store Versace. I was a big customer, and I was invited to their opening in Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills.
Okay.
And this was an A-list party. I think like just all the top stars were there, Tyra Banks and Brooke Shields. Just like it was. I mean, they have the AA, like triple A list.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there was me. Okay. Like, so this photographer, Lauren Greenfield.
Yep.
She comes up to me and she says like, who are you? Why are you invited? You know? And I said, I don't know. I'm just Jackie Siegel.
Just me. Yeah.
Former Mrs. Florida. And she said, what do you do? And I had my Christmas card with me. So I pulled out my Christmas card, and it was our Gulfstream. That's a big airplane with like all our kids sitting on the wing, and me and my husband standing in front.
Nice.
And then I said, and I'm building like a really big house for all these kids, you know. So then she was intrigued, and then she came to visit me, and she did some research and found out that at that time it was the largest single family home in America. And she says, you know, how about like if I can make a show, like maybe an episode on HGTV or something like that. And she says, I'll film the house getting constructed, and then I'll give you the footage that you can keep as for your memories. And I said, that's great. Perfect. I would love that. So she started following the construction of the house, but then the economy changed during the 2008 crash. So
Right.
the whole story, and with documentaries, sometimes you don't know where the story is going to go.
Right.
So the story changed from building the largest home in America to stopping construction because of the economy, and showing the different levels, like how it affected our maids, how it affected our limo driver, how his
Yep.
company,
Yep.
and he's like middle American. So it hit all three levels, and it just became like a sensation. In fact, they just kind of like almost like re-released it. I was on the cover of the paper here just a few days ago, just announcing like it's a must-watch documentary. Like they're talking about it again.
Well,
Yeah.
what's so rare about it too is it's 8 years later, right? And people are
Yes.
still talking about this documentary, which that really never happens. And I think people connect so much to the fact that you were so open during the course of that documentary, and you continue to be open with your family and what's happening. I think people really connect to that because they're not used to it.
Well, you know, and the thing is, I didn't know we were making a documentary. I mean, we weren't told. In fact, when they started filming us, they didn't know they were making a documentary.
Yeah.
I mean, like they were thinking it was just going to be, you know, like for a home makeover thing on
Right.
HGTV or something, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
And it just kind of the story kind of created itself, and the Sundance put it at the opening of the Sundance Film Festival, and it won the best award for director. And I mean, it's from what I've heard, it's one of the top 50 most watched documentaries of all time. Even some of my mates that are from the Philippines, it's even been shown like even over there, and like they're big stars when they go home. It's like, oh my gosh, you know.
That's funny.
So they bring my T-shirts and Queen of Versailles T-shirts and all that when they go home.
Jackie, I think the thing from that documentary that and you actually said it, or maybe I think it was you in the documentary, you say, it's not a rag to riches type documentary. It's a riches to rags, you know.
I think that was my husband.
I think
Oh
David
yeah, your
said that.
husband. Sorry, yes.
Yeah.
But I think it's so true. It's a very interesting perspective because you're right. You do see your child, your limo drivers, your maids, and your husband all dealing with it in different ways, and it's very interesting. And so I think it connects. And like Liz said, I think you and your family's openness to who you guys are, and not, oh, we have millions of dollars and we're fine. You guys show the authenticness that every American, no matter whether they're poor or rich, still go through the same things, and we're all the same. We're all humans, and I think that's why people connect, and that's why I've connected with even your documentary of the Princess of Versailles. Is just you're connecting in a way. I lost both my parents when I was very young, and so
I'm sorry.
it is not the same. No death is the same, but I could relate when I was watching that documentary just of the things that you and your family were going through, and some of the ridicule that you got differently because you guys are famous, whereas I didn't get some of that stuff, but things that normal people do, like you took a picture of your daughter's casket and someone was saying something like that's a normal, you know, you have to process how you do, and you're so authentic.
Oh my God, the press talks so bad about me taking a picture of her casket and stuff. But, you know, they're ones that haven't lost a child, and these were like the last moments of my daughter being above ground, you know, well, she was going down. And while she was going down, what was touching for me as the butterfly came and landed on the casket.
Amazing.
And that's why I use the butterfly for the foundation in the logo, because I don't know, I just kind of feel a connection, like if a butterfly comes and lands on me, or, you know, like it landed on I just thought that was so strange. Like maybe her spirit's still around, and it's just a sign, you know?
Absolutely.
So,
Jackie, what are some common misconceptions people have about you?
I mean, people can probably the people that didn't know me, they called me like a gold digger, but I mean, I'm still around, and I'm,
Right. Yeah.
you know, I think most gold diggers come and go. Like,
I would
you
think
know,
so. Yeah.
not have 8 children.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't know. I think like I'm still from a small town. You know, like my mentality, like growing up. But I mean, so I've got like, I mean, I love running around in my flip flops. I have a whole like a closet full of shoes. I'm actually in my closet, but I don't like wearing like high heels that much anymore. Only like to make the appearance.
Yeah.
And then I always bring my flip flops or flat shoes. I love comfort.
Yeah. Just take the picture with the heels and then put on regular shoes. Yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I bring a big purse.
Yeah.
With all my stuff in it, and like if people want to see, like if they want to see into my life a little bit, I mean, I've got the Facebook and Instagram. It's called The Real Queen of Versailles. If they want to see kind of the daily things that I do, like baking cookies or painting with the kids, or like all the stuff we've been doing in quarantine, they can follow a little bit of that. I mean, if they're interested in seeing what happens behind the closed doors at Siegel Island here.
Absolutely. I saw that you were out kayaking the other day and it looked beautiful. I lived in Tampa for a year and a half. I used to go to Wiki Wachee a lot for that beautiful, and it's a beautiful river to be on. So it took me back when I saw your picture of you out there kayaking, just enjoying nature.
It was so nice. It was so private and so peaceful. And, you know, I'm actually more busy being at home without all the staff here than I was like without the quarantine.
Because you are the staff now. Yeah, you're doing everything.
I am the staff.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Another quick question I had. Sorry, we interviewed Captain Sandy from Below Deck a few weeks ago, and you were on that show. Can you tell us about your experience on that beautiful, beautiful yacht?
Well, tell Captain. I love Captain Sandy.
She's amazing.
She was so amazing, and I've been on like a lot of like appearances on like a Celebrity Wife Swap and things like that, on other reality shows. The Below Deck was the best experience on a reality show that I've ever had.
Oh, good.
Really?
It was, in fact, I'm doing it again. So.
Oh my gosh, you heard it here.
Yeah,
awesome.
And my husband wants to do it again, or he wants to do it. So, did I lose you? Okay.
You're good.
Yeah. Okay, so it was like that fantastic, and Sandy and we bonded. What I brought my book on the cruise, and I just gave it to her as a gift, not knowing that she herself had struggled in the past with the addiction, and she came open to me, and but she's been like clean for like 20 years. I mean, she's a success story.
She is.
And she's an inspiration, and I'm just like so proud of her. I mean, she's a great role model.
Well, since you're going back, are you going to be on Captain Sandy's boat?
Oh, I'm not allowed to talk about anything until they come out. So
I think she is. That my guess is yes, because she connects with Captain Sandy so much, but I don't know. But that's my guess.
Not necessarily. So I mean, no.
Come on, Jackie.
I can't say.
You don't have to.
You're fine.
But let me just say that our plan is to be back on, and you'll find out like in September maybe.
Maybe it might be September. That's wonderful.
That's amazing,
Jackie. We
but
can.
you know, I also I might do another show like with, do you know Ronnie Karam?
Yes.
He's got what's crappening.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I like to do stuff. In fact, I was gonna I was on one of his live shows in Tampa about 4 or 5 months ago.
Oh,
nice.
And I was going to do like help participate in another show here, but everything now, all the live shows are all canceled, so it's kind of sucks. But he's a lot of fun.
Late fall, we may need to have you back just to get the scoop on everything that's gone down.
Maybe so.
Pre-recorded.
Maybe in September when I can talk.
Yes.
Maybe September. Yes, we don't know for sure.
That would be amazing.
Well, Jackie, we cannot thank you enough, and we have loved talking with you. Is there anything else that you wanted to say about what you're doing and the work you're doing right now that we can share with our viewers and listeners?
You know, I just think, you know, while they're all stuck at home, I mean, if they can, I mean, I really would like people to watch The Princess of Versailles, because I really think that could be a deterrent for people that are thinking about doing drugs. The people that die of the overdose, they're up there in heaven and they're pain free. It's the parents, it's the siblings, it's the friends. Everyone they leave behind are the ones that suffer. And I want the people doing drugs to see how hard it is on their loved ones. So
Yes.
if they can watch that, that'd be great, you know, and
Absolutely.
spread the word, share the link, because I really think, like, didn't it make you feel like crying at the end?
Oh my gosh. I mean, you really feel like you're in
Because
your situation because of how authentic it is. And I think it is a great message for people. And I think the other thing to plug for you guys is the Victoria Siegel Foundation. And you can find that at victoriasiegelfoundation.org. Donate there to help with the cause that great foundation is doing. And Jackie, I really appreciate your time with us today, and thank you for all the work that you're doing for this, because there is no bigger time than current that, as you said earlier, is spiking, and people are at home alone and they don't know what to do, and they turn to things to make them feel better. And so I think there's no better time than current for us to talk about this on our show, and to have you, who's really dealt with it on a firsthand experience. So thank you for sharing with us.
thank you. And I just hope to give people strength with all that I'm trying to get out there, and hopefully be an inspiration for them.
Great. Jackie Siegel, thank you so much. We love you. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
Maybe in September.
I would love
Yeah,
it.
we will schedule
right.
you.
All right, take care.
Have a great
Okay,
day.
you too.